Okay, welcome to the Crafting Food Pages discussion. We're going to be talking about Death of the Author by Nnedi Okorafor today and doing some crafting.
I realized I should have grabbed my copy, sorry.
This is actually a library copy. I'm covering my name. This is my library copy.
Aww. Yeah, and I've got with me today Liana for the first time. Welcome, Liana. And
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's nice to have you here. And Emily's here again as well from Emily Bethel. So, yeah. So we're going to chat about the book first, and then I'll do a 45-minute sprint where we can go off and do some crafting. I don't know if you guys have thought about any crafting that you want to. I don't think you're doing it, are you, Emily, today?
I will probably bow out of crafting this time. I promise I'll try to think of something next time and do it.
That's fine. Don't have to.
We've got some things we want to get done today, so I will probably bow out at that point. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot that could have. There could be some interesting projects for this one.
Yeah, there are tons of different themes or objects to fixate on, and I could see a number of projects going in way different directions.
Yeah. Sorry.
Go for it.
I was gonna say if I could crochet, I would make a little crochet Ankara, but anyway.
Cute. That would be cute.
If I could. If anyone wants to do that, please, by all means, that would be amazing. Anyway, sorry, keep going, Leah.
I was just going to say, luckily, I had some projects already in the works that fit really well. So I'll be doing some finishing touches to a few things that I've already been working on.
Nice.
Oh, nice. I'm excited to see what they are.
One of them is a stretch, but we're going to go with it. And one of them actually, I think, fits well.
Nice. So to start with the book, let's start with what did you guys think kind of overall? If you want to go, Liana.
Sure. So I haven't fully settled on a star rating because I want to say that I got hit hard in the first page with some feels because it talks about loss, and I recently had a very close loss in my life. So that first page hit me really hard, but then the circumstances and the characters are all very different from my situation. So after that, it was perfectly fine. And I want to say I was 5 stars for maybe up until 48%. And then I don't know that there was necessarily a tonal shift, or I just kind of the story wasn't moving at a pace that I was interested in. And so it started falling from 5, 4, 3, but I think I'm going to end up with a 4 in the end. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
That's interesting. Yeah. How about you, Emily?
Yeah, this one is, so I don't necessarily do star ratings, but this is just a weird one to try to think about and rate, just because there are several different layers going on with the story of Zelu, the story she's writing, some of the interviews, all of that weaving together. It's so meta that it's hard to wrap your brain around, or at least my brain around anyway. It's just so meta on meta on meta. Enjoyment wise, I did enjoy it overall, and I think I was more. I was mentioning before we started that I would mention this as kind of a caveat. So I read this a while ago, within the last year, but it still was a solid, I think within the last year, but it was still a solid chunk of time ago. But I did listen to a podcast where a couple of guys were reading and reviewing it. It was over 3 different podcast episodes. And so I did get kind of a recap through that and kind of some of their thoughts and discussions, and had to double check a couple of things to make sure I was following along, particularly with the storyline that Zelu was writing with the Rusted Robots. Because I think when I first read it, some of those parts confused me. And I was kind of more drawn to the contemporary part of Zelu's story initially than the Rusted Rope, trying to follow the Rusted Robots one. Granted, I was listening to the audiobook, so I think there probably was just some things that I was missing just from that reading experience. But going back, like it'd be interesting to reread this at some point. But I feel like I'd be able to appreciate the Rested Robots part more. So I say overall enjoyed, probably more drawn to the contemporary part initially. But yeah, this is just an interesting one to think about because it's so different from anything, at least that I've read. But
yeah, I agree. I thought it was quite unique.
Yeah,
really overall.
Unique.
Yeah. So, what kind of star you said you don't give star ratings?
Yeah, I don't necessarily give star ratings only because I personally don't find them helpful. And I find it stressful to try to find a star, like settle on a star rating.
Yeah, fair.
So I'm like, why am I stressing trying to settle on a star rating when it doesn't even really personally help me when I'm hearing someone talk about it? Because like a 3-star, for example, or a 3.5 star, I'm like, that could mean so many different things. That could mean I had mid-level enjoyment the entire time, or that could mean I loved half of it and hated half of it, and I kind of met in the middle. And like, there are just so many ways to interpret everyone's star ratings that like, anyway, like for me, it's just like, I'm like, I don't like the discussion part, like trying to figure out like, if you enjoy these things, this book might be for you. If you don't enjoy these things, this book might not be for you. Like that's the more helpful part for me than trying to stress about figuring out a star rating. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox.
No, I can understand that because like for me, it's more just like a feeling about the star rating. It actually doesn't mean anything. Like it's just right. This feels right.
Right. So, yeah, it can be like a helpful overall gauge of whether or not someone enjoyed something.
For yourself, really, which, like as well.
Yeah, which can still be helpful. But anyway.
Yeah, so I did give it 5 stars actually. I really enjoyed it and I felt like I was actually slightly more invested in the sci-fi story than I was in the contemporary one. Yeah. But I did enjoy a contemporary story as well. And then I do feel like the ending of this book changes everything.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to talk about this book without talking about the ending first. Because, how did you guys find that? Like,
I didn't see it coming. I did not see it coming. I kept waiting for what the title says. Like literally.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm getting closer. Oh, Nnedi Okorafor, you got me. You duped me.
Yeah, 100%.
What Emily was saying about the layers upon layers of metafiction, it's also a little trippy if you try to like, it's one of those time travel things, like people going back or going to the future to change something, and then this weird loop of like, is that the first time, or have you always done it? It's like this weird loop that has no start.
Yeah,
that's how this metafiction feels.
It's even more meta when you think about the connection between what happens in this book and Nnedi Okorafor's own life. Anyway, we can talk about that later. But
I don't know much about Nnedi Okorafor's own life, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know anything other than the dedication, which was, I thought, really touching. So I would be interested in hearing what you know, Emily.
Yeah, what do you know? Tell us.
Yeah, so she, as a kid, I don't remember, and this was coming from a couple of sources. One, the podcast, and two, Nnedi Okorafor came to the National Book Festival last year. So again, the memory of that conversation is a year old. But she was talking about this book. This was soon after it came out, or anyway, whatever. So she did have an injury as a kid that meant that she has mobility. Like, I don't think she uses a chair, or at least didn't in that talk, like getting to that talk or anything, but she does have mobility issues as a result of that accident. And I don't remember what type of accident it was or what exactly happened. But she also then started to write this book after the death of her sister, Ngozi.
Oh, right. I see.
And
she says in the dedication.
Right, which it was what she talks about in the dedication and also talked about in that talk. And so there's like a death that kind of sparked this creation and kind of the grief from that and her trying to process the grief from that. And then things just kind of kept coming in that paralleled her life in Zelu. And then I think she said it kind of unintentionally at first. Then when I think she said she initially wrote the Rusted Robots part like on her own just to kind of give herself more context for the story. And then that unintentionally started to mirror Zelu and herself. And then she kind of made it more intentional for them to kind of mirror each other, what was going on. But it like really is like an additional layer of just like, okay. And in the podcast, they were mentioning that this was kind of a huge response to some article that was written a long time ago that was arguing that an author's work should be interpreted separately from the author and their experiences. And she's saying that that's an impossible thing to do. And so it just kind of, her life fed into the story, fed into the next story, fed into this loop Leanna's talking about. Anyway, it's like it's too meta for my brain.
Yeah, it's interesting to know that. I wonder, hopefully I might do a reread in the future, just like knowing the ending, knowing the background, do a bit more research into that. What was that podcast called, Emily?
It was, let me bring it back up. It would be a helpful thing to watch.
No, yeah, it'd be good to have a listen to it, because I think that sometimes when I read books, I don't do enough background research into any author interviews or anything like that. I think that's something I'd like to do more of going forward.
Yeah, but the podcast hosts do, and so it's helpful. The name of the channel, so I watched it on YouTube. The name of the channel is Lore Party Media, and I think they just call it the Sci-Fi Book Club.
Okay.
And it's 3 episodes that kind of
maybe you can link it in the discussion board.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's
better idea. Okay. I'll put the first one. Put the first one here.
Well, thank you.
Not the private chat. Okay, here we go.
That kind of ties into one of the questions that I had that came into my mind. I think I think she starts to talk about it. Zelu starts to talk about it a little bit more towards the second half. But maybe it's also all throughout. But the idea of, or I think it happens at the interview, like around the interview process. It's about what do creators owe the consumers of their creations? Like, do they owe anything at all?
Yes. Yeah.
That was an extremely interesting question, because to me, Zelu was a somewhat morally gray character. At least I experienced her that way. Mm-hmm. And I was like disappointed that she didn't use her platform to try to make the exos more. Is that what they're called? What were
that's how. Yeah,
it wasn't says. Yeah,
exos more accessible to other people, or I mean, there was no talk of it becoming something that could help more people. Mm-hmm. And also, but then that got me thinking, like, but does she owe that to anyone? Like, at what point do you stop having responsibility on your shoulders, and is it fair to put that on
as a public figure, but also as an author writing? So I'm thinking of like George R.R. Martin, Patrick Rothfuss, who have like very famously not finished series that I'm sure people are constantly hounding them about.
I kept thinking about that. Yeah,
you know, like what do they like? Do they owe that to their audience? Like, you know, they can do whatever they want. Of course, fans can want it, but like, do they owe that to them? You know. Anyway.
Yeah. When Zelu got to the point where she was like tweeting something, and then there was there's hardly any comments about what she tweeted. It was all just like, well, where's book 2? Where's book 2? Where's book 2? And I thought I bet like, well, I mean, I don't know how much those guys would tweet anyway, but can you imagine for them to like putting anything on Twitter? They must be hounded like straight away for. Yeah. And then the pressure of that must be insane, especially for George R.R. Martin, because the TV series finished his story badly, in my opinion.
Yeah, not to everyone's enjoyment.
Yeah, so you must feel so like, well, they've done it and they've done it badly. So what's the point of me doing it now? You know, it must feel so like it's been taken away from you in a way.
Yeah, that has to be a very weird feeling.
I don't know what he's feeling, obviously, but that's how I would feel. I'd just think I'd lose interest because I'd be like, well, they didn't do it right.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
We're watching House of the Dragon, the 3rd season of that right now. It's so good. Anyway, sorry.
Fun.
It's so good.
We haven't watched that yet. We need to because we did.
Yeah,
like
they're
it.
all out now. We waited until they were all out because we knew we would want
Smart.
to just watch them as close together as we possibly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
I think I've seen like 1.5 seasons. So to catch up.
Oh,
Hey,
Maddie's
Mandy.
saying hi. Hey, Maddie.
Hey, Mandy.
Hope everything's going well.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think like for me, all it was, I don't know, now I'm talking about it, I'm wondering if it's taken something away from the story, but because of the ending is like Akara has written this story, right? Essentially, she's written the story. So all the questionable parts about it, it's like, well, it's been written by a robot who isn't human. So then it kind of takes something away because there was a part in it as well where I felt like when Zelu first wrote Rusted Robots and then her dad didn't read it, but her dad was like this big storyteller. So I was like, well, why did her dad not read it? And then I was like, you know, thinking about it and then at the end I kind of thought, well, maybe that was on purpose and that was for a reason that it does need thinking about, or maybe Ankara just made a mistake. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It kind of made the contemporary story seem less real, which is me being judgmental to poor Ankara, who's read infinite stories of humans, you know, so they should know how we work, really. But I don't know how you guys felt about that, but that's how it did change things for me a little bit.
It definitely changed things for me, for sure. I had that exact same thought of like, now I kind of want to go back and reread it, even though I don't want to, but I kind of want to go back and read it so that I can have the perspective of this is what the robot is writing about the human experience and her life and what's happening. So so it does make you question what are the things that are being talked about, what's being highlighted, and what is being like what's not the focus and what's being left out. Like the concept of like not mentioning using her platform for good.
Mm-hmm. It's like, would that be something that Ankara thought about, you know?
Yeah, it's a little, there's that. And then I also felt like a disconnect when there's a death in the family. And even though it was, I don't know, for me personally, and the odd thing about that was it wasn't an emotional scene for me. I don't know, that I was disconnected from it. And I think it was maybe because I was viewing her as a morally gray character. And also I didn't feel like we got that strong bond between, at least for me, that strong bond between her and her father. I didn't see that. Like I felt like maybe it was mentioned, but you just saw like her whole family always being against her wishes and against her. Yeah. So, like I didn't feel that connection. I mean, I did feel that there was sadness there, but like it didn't hit me in the emotions like I thought it would have. Like a scene like that should have. It actually didn't. I kind of thought it wasn't quite as emotional. And also it happens kind of closed door. Like she's not there when it happens.
I thought about it.
I don't know. I found those scenes really emotional, actually. So yeah, I guess I had the opposite feeling of that. But I don't know why. It could be, the thing is that when you read emotional scenes like that, it's so dependent sometimes on your mood in the moment, isn't it? And like how you're feeling. Yeah. So maybe that had something to do with it. But
I don't remember how I initially felt about it. Sorry.
Feel the ending is very thought-provoking, but I still don't know how I feel about it. I really liked the ending because it was so shocking. I was like, and then it just felt like it reframed the whole book. I felt like I loved it.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking about it more. I'm like, No, I don't know. I still love it. I think I still like it.
Would make an interesting reread though. Like, as Lana was saying, like, I would be very and I don't remember how emotional I got about her father's death when I initially read it, but like, it would be so interesting. Like, this is one you can reread, I think, and get different things out of it on a reread. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I don't know if I enjoyed the experience of reading the book. There were too many things in Zelu's story that I didn't like or feel anything about.
Yeah, she's definitely an interesting character that I can see people feel very strongly about one way or another. Because she's definitely, like, Winston, they can definitely feel for her with kind of how horribly her family treats her.
Yeah.
But she also definitely does some things that you're like,
yes,
where she's just like incredibly stubborn and does things that are pretty destructive. And sometimes you're like, well, you can kind of understand in some cases I'm just like, no, that's cruel. Like, you shouldn't treat someone like that, especially your own family. But there were times where I was like, no, what they're saying is justified, because like you did something that was kind of really questionable there. Anyway,
I do think the thing that I didn't like how she acted at the beginning with her students. I felt like straight off the bat, I was like, okay, well, you can't be like that with students. Like, what are you doing? And then then obviously throughout the book there was questionable things that she did. And then the bit where I kind of almost wrote her off was at the end when she found out she was pregnant and then she was going to get on that spaceship. And I was like, when Zizi, like, he deserves so much better than this. Like, what are you doing? So when I found out that Akara wrote it, I was relieved that it wasn't real. I was so, it was like, even though it's not real anyway, Nnedi Okorafor wrote it. But like, I just felt relief, like, okay, she didn't really do this to him. Like, it's just pretend. And it was kind of like a weird feeling in that regard. But yeah, I felt like I couldn't forgive her for that. I really couldn't. It was too harsh.
Poor MCZ.
Yeah, I think Zelu's character was very, although I want to use the word selfish, I feel like she wasn't necessarily selfish in everything, but I will say that she was self-oriented. And that's probably a little bit more.
Yeah. She was. I don't know if I enjoyed it. Oh, I read that one. Sorry.
Oh yeah, going up in the spaceship at the end was another thing that made me mad. Not just the pregnancy thing, but because it was another example of like putting yourself above humanity. Like the amount of resources and pollution that go into your personal joyride up into space. I thought we were supposed to be talking about humanity here.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, totally. Knowing it was written by a robot makes sense, but I don't know if it made it enjoyable literature. Yeah, I thought it was clever, but being clever doesn't necessarily mean it's enjoyable, I suppose.
Right.
Like, I felt happy that Ankara's life was the real one, and actually it made me laugh because we obviously started this book club with Psalm for the Wild Built. And this felt like the exact opposite. Like, basically, this is like when humans failed everything, climate change ruined us all, and then A Psalm for the Wild Built is like a utopia kind of thing.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but yeah.
Yeah, and it being robots again. I didn't realize it was robots either.
Surprise!
I found it just so interesting. I think I found both storylines really interesting. The thing I found most interesting out of Zelu's story was the exos, and then people's reaction to her, like wanting to be able to walk, because I can't imagine any scenario that I've experienced. That maybe it's just different in different cultures. I don't know, but like of people being negative about that kind of thing. But maybe in other cultures it's seen as you shouldn't do that. I don't know if that's the reason why people pushed back on her about getting the exos and things. But yeah, I found that really interesting because I do think, like, I do wonder if we're ever going to get to the stage where people willingly replace their limbs and things with technology as it becomes more and more advanced. And I don't know, every now and then I think about it. I think it's really interesting, especially with regards to sport and things like that. Because obviously you have the Paralympics now where people use different equipment. Are we going to get to the stage where actually they're going to be like, when they're measured up against people who don't have to use the equipment, are they going to be way better? Do you know what I mean? And they're going to be able to compete better and faster. And I actually don't know what the stats are with stuff and how fast people can go and things like that. But I find that really interesting. So I like that part from Zellu's story the most. Yeah, I don't know what you guys kind of felt about that kind of storyline.
Yeah, everyone's reaction was interesting. And yeah, it wasn't quite, I think it probably was kind of a cultural reaction from her family's perspective. But that's at least how it seemed to me. But
yeah.
Yeah, I felt similarly as well. It was baffling to me that the family wasn't supportive, or at least that there weren't a few of them that were a little bit more supportive. I think her brother was somewhat supportive, but it was interesting to me that it at least appeared like there was no support there. But that takes us back to the question of, this is being written by the robot, wanting this character to have the experience of not having the support of her family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But then actually, if you take a step back, it's Nnedi Okorafor wanting us to think that a robot would pick whatever.
Yeah.
But I think maybe one of the elements, hey Danielle, maybe there is the cultural element to that, but then there's also I think some of them mentioned like having the fear of it changing the person and having a negative effect. They didn't go too much into like I think Hugo mentions and Zellu talk briefly about people having a psychological, like not being able to continue using the exos because it changed them psychologically or they couldn't handle it psychologically. And they didn't go much into that. And I would have been this is one of the other things that kept kind of bringing the book down for me, was there wasn't, I thought and wanted more discussion around her transition from being completely reliant upon the wheelchair and then now being able to use the exos to stand and I guess walk more freely, or like walk. Yeah. Although I did like that she said it's not walking in the same way. I thought it was an interesting conversation, like the spectrum of, is this walking or is this not walking?
Yeah. That scene when she was running was nuts.
Yeah. For that long.
Yeah. So like, did she not get burns and like permanent damage to that? But yeah, I wanted way more about the psychological element of having lived a quarter of her life in this way and then suddenly gaining the ability.
Yeah, the ability to walk. Yeah.
It just like a year later.
Yeah, it jumped a lot around actually, right? Family's reactions to her never seemed realistic to me besides the cultural aspect. The way some of them constantly blamed her for climbing a tree. Yeah, it felt bizarre.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Like, definitely felt for her in those moments. Like, really? Like, gonna blame her, a kid, for like how many kids climbed a tree? Like, you really? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like something that they can point to that they're actually talking about her lifetime of risk taking, but they're just like, you have to pick something. Yeah. So like, you just had to climb that tree. And also probably, I think this was another topic that came to mind, something about accepting blame or guilt for things that, like needing to have a source to blame when there's plenty of situations that have no source for blame. It's just things that happen for no like purposeful reason. If Free didn't purposefully, choose to have beetles climb and hollow it out so that it could then crack under her weight.
Yeah, totally.
But humans needing a source and to put that blame on.
Yeah.
So like it was her risk-taking behavior or
Yeah.
But
then maybe that's why Nnedi Okorafor wrote it so extreme. Everyone had these extreme views because Ankara's written it. So Ankara's making decisions about how humans react and maybe how that they go focused in on one thing and then like can't get past it kind of thing. And maybe that I want to know. I want to speak to Nnedi Okorafor and be like, right, who?
We have questions.
We have questions. Like, is this Ankara or is this Delu's real? You know, or is this you?
Because even the two, like the stories that Ankara's collected. I mean, at least I personally enjoy stories where characters are maybe kind of larger than life of someone who you might average find, or like, you know, they might not talk necessarily like a normal person that you actually encounter every day would talk. Like, you know, I like books where characters can be to an extreme. And if those are a lot of the stories that Ankara has collected and is kind of basing writing this story on.
Yeah. She also met the last human on Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that they believe is the last human on Earth. So maybe that like her stories were, you know,
right? Yeah, like influenced.
Were influenced the way Ankara wrote.
Yeah.
So interesting. It was such an interesting choice.
She's on Ant duty.
Welcome to distraction.
She's on Aunt GT. Yeah, it's cute. I'm just looking at my notes now.
Yeah, another thing that I had been thinking about was how Ankara she probably used all of the stories that she collected, and then because she's like computerized or AI or something like that, you know, they're good at taking all of that information, finding themes and grouping things like that. So she's probably like, okay, to write this story, I need to have hardship, and then like a hopeful ending.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I see how she wrote this book. It's like this poor character, we just see a bunch of hardship, and we kind of jump from different hardship situations, and then she finds her like inner peace at the end.
Yeah.
And that's would be a common theme of what every single book.
Yeah.
Almost every single book. Be like, okay.
Yeah. It's so true. I'm glad she didn't die at the end, though, Zelu. I'm glad that didn't happen, because the whole book it was built up. The whole book literally was like she's gonna go, and she
like starts going up, and you're like, oh no, it's coming, and then like for part of it, you're like, wait, is that what actually happened? And it's like, is she gonna leave this open ended, and like you can interpret whether or not she. And then like, oh, okay, and Kara wrote it, so I guess she didn't die.
Yeah, she didn't die, I don't think.
Like, this is a weird turnaround.
Yeah, it was kind of strange, but just thinking like in Ankara's story as well, like the whole storyline with the robots and like the war that they're having with each other, and then the robots coming from the sun. I loved that, by the way. I loved the fact, this idea that they went into the sun and then they got like infected by something. I mean, it's so silly, but and then came to like ruin the earth or whatever.
Anyone who was thinking of Project Hail Mary, like.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. But like, I did think, do you think that was a metaphor for climate change? How we're just arguing amongst ourselves and we've got this bigger threat coming?
I had that exact thought at one of the statements.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or for, just internal bickering about a lot of things.
Yeah, I found it strange that robots would be like, okay, this is the data and we've got this big threat, but we're going to deal with this thing. I was like, would computers do that? Would robots do that? Or would they? Because, usually, well, when I think of robots in the future, you kind of think about them in a very logical way.
Right.
So it's kind of not logical to fight amongst yourselves when you've got this bigger threat going on. So
yeah, not rational, but realistic.
Not rational. But realistic I guess it depends what the threat is, isn't it? Because you would hope if a meteor was going to come and hit the Earth, then everybody would turn their attentions to sending a rocket to go and nudge it out of the Earth's path, right?
Yeah.
But because climate change is so slow and insidious, maybe we're like, well, it's not going to happen for years, so we're not going to worry about it, which is exactly what happened with the robots. So yeah, it's how I guess, but I mean, I guess humans built the robots. So you could say, well, it's in our image.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And then there is that element of like the timeline got accelerated.
Yes.
Because they weren't paying attention, they didn't notice the acceleration until way, way late. Yeah, I had on chapter 44, my little note says climate crisis.
Nice.
Yeah.
As a reference, like, that I think that that's exactly speaking to it, that they were bickering amongst each other instead of focusing on
the big threat.
Yes.
That was objectively a huge problem.
Gosh, climate change, man. I mean, I know obviously you work in it and stuff, but that whole news about El Nino and it making next year the hottest year on record is terrifying to me. And it feels so frustrating that you can't, like, as an individual, you can make an impact, but it's so limited and it's just so frustrating. And it's just, it's just hard to know, like, in the same situation as the robots, when you've just got loud voices shouting everywhere, like, where do you even go? How can you say, guys, come on, this is serious now? Like, we've already gone way past all the deadlines kind of thing, and even quicker than we thought. So it's a very scary concept right now. I think.
Yes, it relates to a psychological concept of diffusion of responsibility. Like, no one person feels enough responsibility, and it, like you said, Kim, no one person can make a huge change, but it's about inspiring enough people to make enough changes. But also, it's about the big corporations. So those are the ones that need to make changes. But
the psychology teacher bringing in psychology.
Diffusion of responsibility. If you're like the only person in a room and like there's something going wrong in that room, you recognize that it's your responsibility to address that problem. But if there are 10 people in that room, it's like, okay, who's going to address this problem over here? Me or Bob or Princess Donut? Who's going to do that? You spend too much time figuring out who's going to address the problem.
You know how I feel about climate change, Carl.
Ooh, and then I liked the reference to Hitchhiker's Guide for the Galaxy. One of the chapters at the end is called "So Long and Thanks for All the Fish."
Oh yeah. I haven't read that book though, so I didn't quite.
You haven't read it, Kim? It's like isn't it required for a British person to read?
Yeah, I did. In the first two, I've read the first two of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but I haven't read the rest. Yeah.
The first one I think is the best one, in my opinion.
Same. Yeah, I think I need to do a reread though, because I read them with my family as a kid, and so anyway.
I think there's even something about dolphins in that series as well, and there were a bunch of references to dolphins in this one.
Yeah, that totally was. Yeah.
I don't remember if anything else stood out. I mean, lost a lot of the details.
I feel like there was so much. Like, the book is so packed full of stuff that it's hard to know what to like pick out, isn't it? Because there's just so much.
Moral of the story is I need to do a reread. I probably should have done a reread, but like I'm in the middle of so much right now, and I was like, podcast it is.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Like there was that character in the robots one that was the big spider, just like
Yes.
in.
Undide or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
spiders freak me out.
I really liked that character.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going through my little tabs, and I remember that there were 2 instances that I recognized that I thought were intentional contradictions with themselves.
Okay.
And like one was when Zelu figures out, when she gets the interview with like the big person, like I know she does a lot of interviews, but like the big one.
Mm-hmm.
So which one I'm talking about?
Oh, where she like berates her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before that happened, she called the interviewer a real journalist, or like a scholarly. I'll have to look for the exact quote, but she called her like a scholarly journalist. And then after that happened, she said like this fake journalist.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a fun nod to how, we're gonna change. We can call someone, say we highly respect them and think they're educated and they should be trusted, but then if they wrong us, quick to be like, oh, I never even trusted this person ever. I knew they were a fake the whole time. Cognitive need to change our perception of them because of the harm that they did to us, or because we don't like them anymore.
Like Trump being the extreme version of this.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
I'll see if I can find it, because I laughed out loud when she was like, oh, the fake journalist. I was like, literally 2 pages ago, you said this was the best journalist ever. And then the other contradiction was something about, like, I can't remember exactly, but I think she had like an expression of emotion and felt good about that. And then like the next page, she talks about keeping emotions in and keeping it all in, so that because that's the best way to like move forward and go on. I'll also have to see if I can find that. But I was like, these are contradictions, but I think they're purposeful contradictions, because that's how humans are.
Yeah. We have a way that we like to think about ourselves, but it just morphs depending on how we feel on the day, I guess.
Yeah.
Perspective on the day. Yeah. Very fickle creatures. Yes. And also stuck in our ways. So even that's a contradictory statement to make.
I wonder if Nnedi is in the midst of having anything of hers adapted. Because I also thought it was kind of funny when Zaylee wasn't really involved in the adaptation of Rested Robots, and then was so upset that it wasn't what she wanted.
Yeah, because I found that I know that they don't typically include writers into the adaptations, from when I've heard John Green talk about it and stuff, but he's usually there. But obviously Zelu, she decided that she didn't want to be involved in it. And then she literally knew nothing about it. And that just felt very unrealistic to me, because I was just surely, you would not let her get to that stage where you're sitting in the cinema to watch it and you don't know what's about to happen. Come on, you must know, kind of thing. But then they do sign their rights away, really. I think Brandon Sanderson, he's just signed a bunch of rights, but he's had it written in his contract that he has to write the screenplays and stuff.
Yeah, it depends on what they agree to, and I
think he's such a high-powered author, right? He's such a famous author that he can do that. But I guess if you're just someone who's your debut novel, you can just get it taken and then run off and Western. The rest of it.
Yeah, or it might be harder to negotiate having more. I mean, hopefully studios are at least good about seeing how involved the author wants to be. And if they don't want to be involved, then they don't need to put that in as part of the contract. But
I don't really know much about this, but I think I feel like a lot of people just don't have a lot of say when they've signed.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard in the past.
It depends.
Yeah, it probably does depend.
Yeah, it depends on what they can negotiate. I say this only actually from a conversation that the National Book Festival was for this year was yesterday. And it was actually interesting because Jordy from Jordy's Book Club was there. I did not realize this, but he actually works for Universal doing like working to find things to adapt for Universal.
Oh, cool. I don't know who that is.
I just had seen him on Bookstagram, and he's like has a huge following on Bookstagram.
Mm-hmm.
And so and maybe this is kind of changing over time. Maybe traditionally authors haven't had a lot of say, and maybe now that some authors are kind of insisting on being more involved, or maybe some authors just don't have time and they can either choose to be involved in the adaptation or they can choose to write another book, and it's like an either or situation, and they'd rather write another book than be more involved, or maybe an author really wants to be. So it seemed, at least from his conversation, that and again, maybe this is shifting, but that it can depend on what they want, what they can negotiate. But I mean, certainly I feel like it would be different for Brandon Sanderson versus like a debut author who just happened to get their first novel adapted or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think like trusting someone to write a screenplay would only be like very renowned authors, I would imagine, because it's very different skill writing a book to writing a screenplay. And being able to have the vision of the film and everything. I don't know, what would you guys be like? Because I know if it was me, I would be micromanaging every single part.
I feel like I would be the author that's like, I would want to be involved. I don't know exactly what it would mean to be involved as an executive producer versus like any other. I don't feel like just because I would, at least in that hypothetical world, I have not written a novel. I would love to write a novel, but like in that hypothetical world, I would probably be the author that's like, well, like, as you said, Kim, like the skill to write a novel is different than the skill to write a screenplay, or no shows or movies as a different form of storytelling than novels. And so I would want to lean on the expertise of the people who are adept at knowing that difference and knowing, okay, in a show form, this isn't necessarily going to work like it did in the novel, and so we need to make some tweaks to make this make sense or whatever. I don't know if I would trust myself to like to be able to know that, but I still would want some, at least I can imagine, would want some involvement to make sure that if I have some clear vision of what I want, that is kind of shared with the people who are working on it. But anyway, I don't know. What do you think, Leanna?
I think we have the full flavor of, like, what's the ice cream that has one of like 3 different flavors?
The Neapolitan?
Yes, because I'm on the extreme on the other end where I'd be like, have at it. Give it a go. I don't need to be involved.
Also, just because it would be interesting, I think, to like learn what it would be like. But anyway, yeah,
also,
that's fair enough.
I could then if it goes poorly, I can be like, I had nothing to do with it.
True. Plausible deniability.
But maybe there is a little bit in there that's like, oh, maybe I would just want to have a little bit of say in like who the director gets picked, what company gets the rights and stuff, because there's a lot of people and places and corporations that I don't really want to support.
Yeah,
maybe like a little bit,
but like
I'm good.
But like, how are you when you watch adaptations? Do you generally dislike them, or do you like them, or like
I think I generally like a lot of them, but I will say I probably lean towards liking the book more than most of the adaptations.
Yeah, same.
Although not all. It's not a hard and fast, but I would say it leans more towards enjoying the books, just because you can't put everything in a movie.
No, that's true. But it doesn't. So like, I always find that if they change stuff, I become irate about it. It's like, especially if I've just finished the book, I always do it. I want to watch the thing straight away, and then I'm irritated. So I feel like if that was my book and then they did something like that, I would feel even more annoyed.
Oh no! Have you watched Station 11?
I was just thinking about Station 11. I couldn't watch it. I watched episode 1 and I fuming and I turned it off.
It's so good. It's so good, but they changed so much that I can see why you wouldn't want to watch it.
Well, there's been some space now, so do you think I could watch it now? I haven't read the novel in like years.
Yes, you absolutely
and I would enjoy it.
Yes, it's really, I recommend it. It's really good.
Okay. All right, okay, fair. See, yeah, that was too vastly different for my brain. I couldn't. They're very attached to things.
I kept annoying my cousins that I was watching with, being like, "Ooh, that's not how it happens in the book. This doesn't happen. This character is not like that in the book." They were like, "Shush, we want to watch."
Yeah, we didn't mind about that.
Maybe it's helpful that I hadn't read Project Hail Mary in a while, like before, or when I watched the adaptation. Like, it had been a while since I read the book.
Yeah,
maybe it was good that was the case, because I was able to just enjoy the hell out of that movie.
Yeah, so I loved Project Hail Mary, like the movie. I loved it, but again, I think there was a bigger gap between me reading it and watching the movie. So
yeah,
I could forget about all the changes. But I feel like they were pretty faithful to that book.
I feel like from what I remember, they were faithful to a lot of the core of it. So anyway,
yeah,
like I thought that was such a good a good example of an adaptation.
Yeah, but I can understand Zelu and her anger having like the main characters change their nationality and all of that. Like, but I did just think, why did you not find out about this stuff before now? I don't understand why.
And if you want no involvement, then you also don't get the right to then be like. I mean,
but then
you can feel your feelings, but I feel like you shouldn't necessarily put everyone on blast for like.
Yes, I will say that. I will say that I think the ones where the author are closely tied are better productions and ones that I've enjoyed more. So maybe I should rethink my thoughts, because I do think those do produce better results. But maybe it's just because they're more true to the book. I don't know. Now I'm gonna have to like reevaluate what I thought about this.
And you need to write a novel that then gets adapted, so that we all need to do this, so then we can talk about our experience. See if we change our mind.
Yeah. No, I thought like Zelu had such a bad habit of just shutting everyone out the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt bad for her, because I was just like, you're only hurting yourself here, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was kind of frustrating to read about her character sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes, it made me think a lot about how there is no like ultimate, for some people, there's no amount of success that can make them content or happy. Yeah. Like, I felt like, she got a good thing, but then ultimately couldn't be content in any of those things and kept having to chase like the next big thing,
including literally going to space.
Yeah.
Which seems kind of extreme, but
it was kind of weird having Elon Musk as a character, wasn't it? Or was it Jeff Bezos? I'm not sure which one.
I think it was the first one is how I read it. I was not a fan of that aspect, but it made complete sense for why it was included.
Yeah.
I think it had a lot of the things that she was talking about involved that type of character. Yeah. Meeting that type of character.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was so weird though. So I guess like you guys would not go to space then. I think more like Leanna, I from the pollution aspect, I just can't justify it in my brain.
Yeah.
If pollution wasn't an issue, would you want to go into space, or would you find that too terrifying?
I think now I would, since I don't have I don't have children or anything like that. So then I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
It would be terrifying. It'd be absolutely terrifying.
Oh yeah.
It would be a really interesting experience. And it's not like a lot of good things haven't come from, our work to explore space. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't ever foresee myself even having the opportunity, so I haven't really thought too much about it. But
yeah, it's true. It's true, but I'd love to see the Earth from up high.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not just pictures, but like actually
there. Yeah,
that would be incredible. That would be incredible.
I'm not brave enough. I don't even like going on airplanes, so
yeah.
I just don't get a little freaked out.
Yeah.
I think those pictures from the first astronauts who went up and then looked back and took those pictures. I mean, that helped inspire and give fuel to the environmental movement that was really starting to take off at the time.
Yes, that's true. I would go up on if the primary mission was information and science,
like scientific. Mm-hmm.
Yes, rather than I just want to go up into space.
Right. Yeah. I feel like there would, at least for me, be a distinction there.
But do you think it would be good, like, if we could do it en masse, where you gave everybody like a perspective change? Maybe more people would want to fight for the environment. You know, if they could go up and, you know, some people don't even believe the Earth is round, so just be like, get on this ship and go and look at it. Have a look and see for yourself.
That's so hard, Kim. And also you just like blew my philosophical mind like a gasket, because now I'm just thinking people see hard things and they know about hard things already, and we all don't do enough things. Like, we all know about homelessness and poverty and starvation and certain areas not having medicine technology, and we can see it, but we don't do as much as we could. That diffusion of responsibility, I suppose.
I guess. Here's me thinking there's like an easy fix of someone's being like, oh yeah, now I've seen the world.
So like they can go and see it, be like, oh my gosh, I'm really gonna step up my climate change game. They come back, they'll maybe last for like 2 weeks.
And then it'll be back to normal. Yeah, totally true.
It's hard, but you need that incremental change. I think you need to nudge people a little bit in mass. So it could be a benefit, but also my apologies. I always have to think of like the other perspective.
Oh, never apologize.
My science mind.
No, I love that.
Well, definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
Cool. So do you want to do some crafting?
I'd love to do some crafting.
So what are you going to work on, Leanna? I would love to at least see what you're going to work on before I hop up.
Where are my things? Okay, so I'll do the one that I'll show you the one that relates more closely. So for the metafiction element, is I've been working on this like book themed placemat kind of like poster thing.
How cute is that? Oh my gosh.
It's supposed to look like a book. Does it look like a book?
Yeah, no, it does.
It's really cute. I love it.
That is really cute.
I just have the 2 parts, but I need to sew them together. And then there's this little space here to embroider a little image.
Ah, nice.
I love that.
I can work on that. And it was, I think, tied in with the whole like metafiction element.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the one that is a stretch has to do with disability representation. Please tell me that you all know about this magical creature.
What's the magical creature?
It's Jimothy. You don't know Jimothy?
Oh, Jimothy.
I don't know Jimothy. Wait, I'm Googling Jimothy.
I haven't actually...
You need to experience...
I've heard mentions, but I don't know if I've ever actually seen the pictures of Jimothy the raccoon.
A viral, uniquely spherical wild raccoon from Seattle. Hang on. No, I have seen Jimothy. I lied. I have. I just forgot his name was Jimothy, even though it's so much like...
Yeah, he's become like a disability rep icon.
Oh.
I'm going to get into the shirt now that says Team Jimothy. With a little picture of Jimothy. Oh my god, that is so cute.
Yes, I am eating up all of the memes and all of the cute videos and everything. Like, Jimothy has stolen my heart.
Oh, cute.
Amazing.
I love that. He's so cute.
So I need to weave in these ends.
Cool.
And then like have it ready to like. I haven't decided if it's going to be a magnet or like a hanging.
Yeah, you're so talented, Leanna.
Thanks.
So impressive.
Yeah, those are cute. Those are really cute.
Followed a design.
Very cute.
And this is called like a swatch, like when you make like just like a little sample. I'll try to make a bigger one at some other point.
Nice.
I need to learn how to crochet. Oh my gosh.
I actually don't know what I'm going to do. So we'll find out after the sprint, I guess, what I've decided to draw, because I have no clue. I couldn't decide on anything at all.
I feel like there's got to be some cool inspiration images from like the Rusted Robots part of this.
Yeah, I might have a look and see if I can garner some inspiration, because right, let me try and present my screen. Share screen. Doop. Yeah, because I'll have a little look, Emily, and I'll get drawing something.
Yeah.
Are you gonna shoot off, or are you gonna stay?
Yeah, I'm gonna hop off, but it has been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for joining us in the discussion.
Of course.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
And, have a lovely rest of your Sunday. See you later.
Y'all too. Bye.
Cool. So, Leanna, let's get crafting.
Perfect. You don't have to tell me twice.
I'll see you in a bit. Did you hear that?
I did hear that, yes.
It was so loud, it made me jump out my skin.
It did spark like an electrical spark in me. That's what it felt like. I was like, oh. That's how I would describe it.
Hey, Michelle. Are you here? Have you been crafting? Yeah, how was that for you?
I think I made some good progress in these little finishing touches, which is like sewing things up, which is usually the part that it is the part that I hate. So that's why I have a bunch of like half finished projects. So this was the perfect opportunity to like do the little sewing together of pieces and things like that I sometimes get bored with and then like leave for never. So I did tack down one whole side and do like a little spine or like I don't know, to mimic whatever the binding.
The binding, yeah.
But
it's so cute.
Thank you. I left this part blank, or I haven't tacked this part down because I didn't do an image yet. So I need to like leave it available for me to do the image here, and then I'll tack it down.
Do you know what you're going to do yet, or are you still deciding?
Part of the thing was I couldn't figure out what to do at all. It's not a very big space, so it's like I can't do much. Like maybe like, I don't know, like a heart or like a shape.
Yeah.
Or like a single letter. But it's like on the wrong side of the page to do like a single letter. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do like a blue circle for like the blue Hume.
Oh yeah.
In the book, wasn't there like a blue... Yes.
Yeah. Cute. I like that.
Something like that. And then I crocheted 2 little eyes that are gonna go on this little creature. Again, this is something that was like half done for the longest time. I just haven't gotten around to finishing it yet. The eyes go there. Let me show you a finished one.
Oh, that's so cute.
And you just put like little trinkets in there.
Oh, I love that. That's so cute.
I just have, like spare keys to like, the garage or something.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Nice.
Little frog.
Oh.
So yeah.
So cool. Very nice. Michelle's
worked on Timothy.
You didn't work on Timothy.
Still has all of the ends to weave in.
Oh, mate. Does that take a long time then to weave it all in?
It's not terribly long, but it's my least favorite part of the project. So I usually wait for when like I have nothing better to do.
Yeah. When you're at the end of your tether, you're like, what can I do? Can you easily like listen to a book while you're doing it? Or
yes, this is the perfect thing to do while like listening to an audiobook or because I do kind of need to be looking at it to weave in the ends well, so that it doesn't show on the nice side. So an audiobook is perfect because I can just listen and then like concentrate.
Yeah, nice. Cute. Well, yeah, share with us the book when it's all finished.
I will.
Do you know what you're going to do with it?
It's supposed to be like a little like coaster. It's kind of big for a coaster, so maybe it's more like a hot plate. Like,
okay, I like that. That's so cute. Yeah, that's a nice idea.
So I think I'll keep it as like putting it on like a coffee side table or whatever, and like you can put like a hot bowl or something like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Or a candle. It's cotton, so it's not as susceptible to melting with high temperatures.
That's good.
Yeah, no synthetic material for a coaster.
I've tried crochet and get tangled in yarn every time. They are creative projects. Yeah, I've tried crochet and I need to practice the tension. I think
it does get tangled. And try different ways. Try to find different videos that have different people holding the yarn and even holding the crochet hook in different ways, because there there are tons of different ways of doing the craft, and maybe part of it is you haven't yet found the most comfortable method for you.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I only watched one video, and I was trying to make these little like flowers, and they were so fiddly, and I was just getting so wound up. I just lost patience with it at the end. But yeah, I need to get, because I did get to a stage once with knitting where it was actually relaxing. So I'm sure I can get there with crochet. I just need to persevere.
Yes.
Because I'd love to make those little animals and stuff. They're so cute.
Those are so, this is my extent of that kind of thing. Like, I find amigurumi really difficult. And
I really?
Yeah, I get lost in the stitches, and
right.
I can't find like where to put and stuff. And I also get, I don't know, I'm better with things like wearables and stuff like that, like scarves or socks, or those kinds of things. More so than little, yeah, more so than little cute things. Although I will say I knit. This is knitting. I got bored and oh my god, I dropped him.
No.
Here we go.
He looks so cute. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is so cute.
It's a little chicken that I knit up.
Adorable.
And it was just because, I was like bored and wanted like something quick. Something that you can do really quick and get instant satisfaction.
Yeah. You made a chicken. That's amazing.
Yeah. I was surprised I went for something like this because I usually don't like to make like little stuffies or things like that. I don't know. They're not my jam.
Yeah, not your thing. Yeah. It's very cute though.
Yes.
And if you made it like a little Santa hat, it could go on the Christmas tree.
I could do that. Or make a little army to take over the world.
So I tried to sketch a scene, which it did not go too well. But it's so I tried to do like the trees and then like the robot spider and then a bunch of little robots.
Yes.
So it's the start of something, but I kept going back to the book being, and I wanted to include the things coming from the sun. So I just drew them as squares. And then when I like paint it, I can do the little, because they were like glowing in the middle, were they? So that's what I want to do.
Yes.
Then being told they're coming now, mate.
Yeah, with their like abdomens full of plasma ready to
exactly
be comets and destroy the world. Yeah.
That happy bit where they're coming to destroy the world.
Yes, a beautiful destruction. Like, you can admire the beauty as it destroys you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so fun. I love I can't remember its name. Is it Undide? The spider?
Yeah,
the spider
I can't remember his name either. It is something like that. Let me look it up.
I really liked that character.
Yeah, I really liked him. Although how they fix the problem, I was like, did you not try this before? I feel like that's kind of like route one. That's the first thing you try is try and reconcile and bring him back. I can't find it, but it's like in B-Bay or something, something like that.
Yes. Sorry if you can hear all the dogs barking.
Oh, what's going on?
There's someone just arrived, like a relative, I think, came to my house. So they're going crazy now.
That is such a greeting. I love it.
Well, there's quite a few of them, so let me count. Okay, just 4, but that is a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's quite a lot. Are they little?
So one is the size of like a mini horse, and then the smallest one is a Chihuahua. But she's a big Chihuahua. She's like she's not one of the tiny ones. She's like one of the like standard size. So she's probably like this tall.
Okay, yeah.
She's bigger. She's not like when you think Chihuahua and you think tiny.
Yeah,
she's like a big one.
And I bet she makes more noise than the bigger dog.
Yes, she does. Yeah, the other 3 are males, so she runs the roost.
Good. I like to hear it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for coming along, and share anything that you've done in the Discord for us, and we'll have a look. And yeah, I guess that's everything for this book club. The next one is let me just look it up. I've now immediately forgotten what it is. it was Anne's pick, actually. Anne couldn't come today because she's on holiday, but it's her pick that won. Remarkably Bright Creatures is the next one we're doing, by Shelby Van Pelt. Have you read that before?
I have. I think it is a good it's a good pick. It's
Okay, good.
I really liked the octopus character, and I highly recommend listening to the audiobook if you have access.
Okay, good, because I'll probably most definitely be getting it on audiobook. So I'm planning at the moment to do the live show for that on the 27th of September at 8 p.m. And I'm going to try and get reading sprints in this month as well, because we're getting into autumn now. There's no excuses. No, like, we've got to keep going out. It's time to stay in.
So much fun. Reading. Yes, I've loved these opportunities to craft, and thank you so much for letting me join you today.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you so much, Leanna. It's been so nice chatting. Michelle's just saying haven't received the book yet. And yeah, I hope that didn't spoil anything. It's out of context, so you won't know what it means. It's out of context. You love Remarkably Bright Creatures. That's good. I'm excited to read it. I literally have no idea really what to expect from that book, so I'm interested to get to it. Cool. Right. So Michelle, have a lovely day. And
yeah, bye, Michelle. Thank you.
Bye.